Excerpt from a sermon by John Flavel titled Christ Altogether Lovely. Here it is said of Jesus Christ, which cannot be said of any mere creature, that he is altogether lovely. In opening this point, I shall first examine the importance of this phrase, altogether lovely, and second, show you in what respect Christ is so. What is meant by altogether lovely? Let us consider this excellent expression, and particularly reflect on what is contained in it, and you shall find this expression altogether lovely. First, it excludes all unloveliness and disagreeableness from Jesus Christ. As a theologian long ago said, quote, "There is nothing in him which is not lovable," end quote. The excellencies of Jesus Christ are perfectly exclusive of all their opposites. There is nothing of a contrary property or quality found in him to contaminate or devaluate his excellency. And in this respect, Christ infinitely transcends the most excellent and loveliest of created things. Whatsoever loveliness is found in them, it is not without a bad aftertaste. The fairest pictures must have their shadows. The rarest and most brilliant gems must have dark backgrounds to set off their beauty. The best creature is but a bittersweet at best. If there is something pleasing, there is also something sour. If a person has every ability, both innate and acquired, to delight us, yet there is also some natural corruption intermixed with it to put us off. But it is not so in our altogether lovely Christ. His excellencies are pure and unmixed. He is a sea of sweetness without one drop of gall. Secondly, altogether lovely, i.e. there is nothing unlovely found in him, so all that is in him is wholly lovely. As every ray of God is precious, so everything that is in Christ is precious. Who can weigh Christ in a pair of balances and tell you what his worth is? Quote, "His price is above rubies, and all that thou canst desire is not to be compared with him," end quote, Proverbs 8, verse 11. Thirdly, altogether lovely, i.e. he embraces all things that are lovely. He seals up the sum of all loveliness. Things that shine as single stars with a particular glory all meet in Christ as a glorious constellation. Quote, "It pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell," end quote. Cast your eyes among all created beings. Survey the universe. You will observe strength in one, beauty in a second, faithfulness in a third, wisdom in a fourth, but you shall find none excelling in them all as Christ does. Bread has one quality, water another, raiment another, medicine another, but none has them all in itself as Christ does. He is bread to the hungry, water to the thirsty, a garment to the naked, healing to the wounded, and whatever a soul can desire is found in him. Fourthly, altogether lovely, i.e. nothing is lovely in opposition to him or in separation from him. If he truly is altogether lovely, then whatsoever is opposite to him or separate from him can have no loveliness in it. Take away Christ, and where is the loveliness of any enjoyment? The best creature comfort apart from Christ is but a broken cistern. It cannot hold one drop of true comfort. It is with the creature, the sweetest and loveliest creature, as with a beautiful image in the mirror. Turn away the face, and where is the image? Riches, honors, and comfortable relations are sweet when the face of Christ smiles upon us through them, but without him, what empty trifles are they all? Fifthly, altogether lovely, i.e. transcending all created excellencies in beauty and loveliness. If you compare Christ and other things, no matter how lovely, no matter how excellent and desirable, Christ carries away all loveliness from them. Quote, "He is," as the apostle says, "before all things," end quote. Not only before all things in time, nature, and order, but before all things in dignity, glory, and true excellence. In all things he must have the preeminence. Let us but compare Christ's excellence with the creatures in a few particulars, and how manifest will the transcendent loveliness of Jesus Christ appear. For, first, all other loveliness is derived and secondary, but the loveliness of Christ is original and primary. Angels and men, the world and all desirable things in it, receive what excellence they crave from him. They are streams from the fountain. The further anything departs from its fountain and original, the less excellency there is in it. Second, the loveliness and excellency of all other things is only relative, consisting in its reference to Christ and subservience to his glory. But Christ is lovely, considered absolutely in himself. He is desirable for himself. Other things are desirable because of him. Third, the beauty and loveliness of all other things are fading and perishing, but the loveliness of Christ is fresh for all eternity. The sweetness of the best created thing is a fading flower. If not before, yet certainly at death it must fade away. Quote, doth not their excellency, which is in them, go away? End quote. Job chapter 4, verse 21. Yes. Whether they are the natural excellencies of the body, acquired endowments of the mind, lovely features, graceful qualities, or anything else we find attractive, all these, like pleasant flowers, are withered, faded, and destroyed by death. Quote, but Christ is still the same, yesterday, today, and forever. End quote. Hebrews 13, verse 8. Fourth, the beauty and holiness of creatures are ensnaring and dangerous. A man may make an idol out of them and indulge himself beyond the bounds of moderation with them, but there is no danger of excess in the love of Christ. The soul is then in the healthiest frame and temper when it is most overwhelmed by love to Christ. Fifth, the loveliness of every creature is of a confining and obstructing nature. Our esteem of it diminishes the closer we approach to it or the longer we enjoy it. Creatures, like pictures, are fairest at a certain distance, but it is not so with Christ. The nearer the soul approaches him, and the longer it lives in the enjoyment of him, still the sweeter and more desirable he comes. And sixth, all other loveliness cannot satisfy the soul of man. There is not scope enough in any one created thing or in all the natural universe of created things for the soul of man to reach out and expand, but the soul still feels itself confined and narrowed within those limits. This comes to pass from the inadequacy and unsuitableness of the creature to the nobler and more excellent soul of man. The soul is like a ship in a narrow river which does not have room to turn. It is always running aground and foundering in the shallows, but Jesus Christ is in every way sufficient to the vast desires of the soul. In him it has sea room enough. In him the soul may spread all of its sails with no fear of touching bottom. And thus you see what is the importance of this phrase, altogether lovely.